Welcome to Whatever Happened to Pizza at McDonald's, the investigative journalism program where I ask the question, Whatever happened to the pizza at McDonald's? I'm your host, Brian Thompson. Longtime listeners of this program may remember that some time ago, I was the subject of an extensive profile in a newspaper called the New York Times. This would not normally be notable, considering the New York Times writes many profiles per year, which has a severely negative impact on their importance. Plus, being a local newspaper only for the New York area, circulation is minimal. However, at the time, I thought it prudent to bring some attention to the profile due to its description of my program as, quote, intentionally inane, unquote, among many other errors. Well, it seems in recent months the New York Times has been enjoying the benefits of what is known in media circles as the pizza at McDonald's bump. Not only are more and more people subscribing to the print and digital editions, but the New York Times has also followed in my metaphorical footsteps by releasing audio entertainments such as the daily podcast, The Daily, which publishes new episodes pretty much daily. And this week, the New York Times announced a major announcement concerning the expansion of their audio efforts. They have released a new telephone application called New York Times Audio, which collects several of their podcast programs, as well as other shows, such as Serial, the very first podcast, and This American Life, which is a weekly experimental sound collage of nasally spoken word layered on top of various songs by the French dream pop band Air. Additionally, and perhaps most significantly to my personal life, New York Times Audio also provides audio versions of all the articles published each day in the New York Times newspaper. While I have little interest in the content of these articles, as I do not live in New York, I have been diligently monitoring them ever since the publication of the profile on my program, in order to see whether the New York Times will retract any of the many falsehoods therein. However, as a busy investigative journalist, I simply do not have the time to sit down and read a newspaper every morning. And as somewhat of a proverbial neat freak, I am unwilling to soil my fingertips with printing press ink. Which is why, for the past many months, I have been employing the services of a 92-year-old Korean War veteran named Morris Bart, who calls me on the telephone every morning and reads aloud the entirety of that day's New York Times. The benefits of this arrangement are manifold. By placing my telephone in speaker mode and setting it on my desk, I can listen to Mr. Bart read while I do important work, such as Google image searching phrases like McDonald's pizza, pizza at McDonald's, etc. Plus, I have read in various medical journals, such as WebMD and so forth, that reading is the best way for the elderly to stave off the horrible effects of age-related dementia. So I am somewhat thrilled to be able to contribute in such a major way to Mr. Bart's health. Also, since Mr. Bart grew up during an economic depression so great that it is often called the Great Depression, the $4 per week that I pay him for this service seems to him nothing short of a figurative king's bounty. But perhaps most importantly of all, over the course of our professional relationship, Mr. Bart and I have developed a camaraderie that is almost borderline pleasant in a way. When he calls me every morning, the hello with which I greet him has taken on more and more warmth with every utterance. By the time he finishes reading me the fine print on the last coupon printed in that day's final circular, I often come close to violating our professional boundaries and asking Mr. Bart how he is doing. Once, around the end of the month of November in the year 2022, I went out of my way to wish Mr. Bart a happy Thanksgiving, though I do not believe he heard me on account of he was wiping his inky fingers on his pant legs. It was quite a rustly affair, as his pants sounded to be of the corduroy variety. Unfortunately, however, It seems this arrangement I have with Mr. Bart must now come to an end. With the release of New York Times Audio, it simply makes very little fiscal sense for me to include personal telephonic article readings in my budget. I regret this reality, but it is my sincerest hope that Mr. Bart has been financially responsible and saved one or two of those weekly $4 for a proverbial rainy day such as this. Though, of course, it is nobody's fault but his own if he has not done so. One problem. Though I would very much like to terminate Mr. Bart's employment via our customary communication medium of the telephone, I must do so in person, so that I can have him sign the standard non-disclosure agreement I must receive from all of my subcontractors, lest they run to the tabloids and attempt to sell sensitive information regarding my McDonald's pizza probe. But being an age-addled veteran of the Korean War, Mr. Bart's temperament may prove a safety issue, in which case I would need to make sure that I am fully prepared for any consequence of our upcoming business meeting.
Thank you for calling Body Armor Outlet. If you know your party's extension, you can dial it at any time. For questions about a product or looking to place an order, press 1. If you have already placed an order. Body Armor Outlet.
Hello, my name is Brian Thompson. I'm calling because I would like to purchase some body armor, but I'm not sure exactly what kind I should purchase.
Let's ask this time. What's your reason for wanting to purchase?
Well, I employ a rather elderly gentleman to perform a service for me in the mornings, and he's done so for quite a few years now, but I just learned that I will no longer be requiring his services, and I'm going to be delivering the bad news to him. Now, he is very elderly, and he is not, so to speak, all there cognitively, and he also fought in Korea, so I do know that he is experienced in combat, and so I'm not sure what he might do, but I just want to be prepared in case he attacks me personally.
Sure. I don't think that you need anything tactical, like an outer carrier with heavy plates, because those are full rifle rounds or shotguns and things like that. I don't suspect he's going to be swiftly be able to, corner you with a gun like that. But maybe a handgun, it might be a little bit of a different story. And what I have there are what are called concealable carriers. They're Kevlar, and as opposed to having sort of a 10 by 12 plate in the middle of your chest and a 10 by 12 plate on your back in the middle, this, if you can sort of envision, it would cover your entire torso up to your neck almost, and on the sides around your waist as well. So it's not just a 10 by 12 square. It's as I said, it wraps around your torso, front and back.
Okay.
If you're close to a computer, on our website, they're called X Series.
X Series. I will pull that up right now. X Series, that's just X as in the letter X or EX?
Just the letter X dash SERIES.
The letter X, the letter X dash, what was the second part?
Series, SERIES.
SERIES. Series. Let's see. Okay, I see. It says the BAO Tactical X Series Level IIIA Concealable Vest. $496. Oh, but for interest-free payments of $124. That would be a bit more manageable. And so would this protect me? Let's say that he pried a Korean War era weapon out of the cold dead fingers of one of his victims over there on the Korean Peninsula and shot at me with that weapon. Would this protect me from a weapon such as that?
So this is going to protect you up to a 44 Magnum.
Okay. And that is
pretty good size bullet.
I assume a gun? Yeah. Oh, is that the gun from Dirty Harold?
Yes. That might have been a 45 back, but yes.
Oh, okay. I saw that film. I saw Dirty Harold. Okay, so that would protect me from a firearm. Now, what if he attacks my bodily person with, let's say, his hands or teeth or feet or something like that?
Yeah, so that's I'm coming up a little bit short. I mean, the one other thing that we may want to consider here, right, is this is what's called soft armor. We may want to consider putting a sort of 6x8 plate right in the front of that, in between those two straps that you see. That's
Okay.
a hard plate. What it would do is it would prevent him from being able to stab you with a pick or something like that, or a knife, if he was to go center chest.
I've never seen him carry a knife, but he does have a very sharp hair comb. As you can imagine, gentlemen from that generation often slick back their oily, greasy hair, and he does have an implement.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. So he does have a sharp comb. This would protect me from something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what if he tried to sort of bludgeon me with a dull object, like a golf club or a bag of Werther's Originals? Something like that?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd be able to offer you there would maybe be a helmet. But I think we're probably going overboard. I think if you show up there with a helmet.
Oh, certainly. That would
The thing
be...
you're looking at right now actually would have underneath your clothing. You wouldn't even see that you would have it on.
Okay, would I have to wear baggy clothing?
No, not necessarily. Just a jacket over it would be fine.
Okay. So I will wear full body, soft and metal plate body armor under my clothing, but a helmet, you're right, would be a bit of overkill. Okay.
Might be a little, it might be a little aggressive.
Okay. Well, this is all very good advice. I definitely have some items to look through on your website. Now, this financing option, the 4 interest free...
If you have any more questions, please give me a call back.
Oh, certainly. I definitely will. Thank you very much. Just one more question, actually. The 4 interest-free payments, does the financing rely on anyone having good credit?
So it's actually, that's an outside company that I have nothing to do with. It's just a service that's provided by the web design. So I'm not sure of their specific details or how they make the determinations.
Okay. I've been trying to make payments on, I won a Pulitzer surprise, and I've been trying to make payments on the actual medal that's coming in the mail, and I've unfortunately fallen behind on some of those, so I'm not sure what my credit score is right now, but I will work that out with this company. Thank you again for all of your help.
Brian, let me ask, what did you win your prize for?
Oh, for journalism.
Nice.
That was quite a surprise to me.
Excellent. Well, listen, give us a call back if you need any help, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Goodbye. Do you know what happened to pizza at McDonald's? Do you remember it? Please send all correspondence to pizza@mcdonalds@gmail.com. To support the show, please join my Patreon at patreon.com/pizza@mcd's for exclusive benefits. And for more information, including links to social media, merchandise opportunities, etc., visit pizza@mcdonalds.com. Thank you to my invaluable Patreon producers: Dan Dreyer, David Friedman, Grant Bacon, Jacob Ford, Joe Kajik, Kimberly King, Kyle Tarak, Nicole Besta, Pam Gabriel, Paulie Egan, Will, Andrew Duffy, Andrew Ahmed Rubin, Billy Jean, Brad Allen Thompson, Gerald Lewis, Jay Poop, Calvin Thomas, Can You Fly Bobby, Laurel Paul, Mel, Mitchell Kordick, Opus Mareshi, and Ryan Guggenmoss. I'm Brian Thompson, investigative journalist.